The wilderness journey, Joshua, and the promised land, from testing to triumph. After God delivered the Israelites from Egypt through mighty signs and wonders, He did not lead them directly into the promised land. Instead, He guided them into the wilderness, a dry, harsh, and silent land. This journey was not a mistake. It was a test, a preparation, and a transformation. The wilderness revealed what slavery had left inside the human heart. Though God had parted the Red Sea, the people quickly forgot His power. When food was scarce, they complained. When water was bitter, they grumbled. They said it would have been better to die in Egypt than to struggle in freedom. Yet God remained faithful. Every morning, God sent manna from heaven, bread that appeared like dew on the ground. It was enough for each day, no more, no less. Through this, God taught them to trust Him daily. When they were thirsty, God brought water from a rock through Moses. When enemies attacked, God fought for Israel. God guided them with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. His presence never left them. At Mount Sinai, God gave His law not to control them, but to shape them into a holy nation. He gave instructions for worship, justice, and community life. He commanded the building of the tabernacle, a sacred place where His presence would dwell among the people. The tabernacle was placed at the center of the camp. This showed that God was meant to be at the center of Israel's life. Eventually, the people came near the edge of the promised land. Moses sent 12 spies to explore it. They returned with fruit so large it took 2 men to carry it. The land was truly flowing with milk and honey. But fear overcame faith. 10 spies spread fear, saying the land was filled with giants and strong cities. Only 2, Joshua and Caleb, trusted God and urged the people to move forward. The people listened to fear instead of faith. Because of this rebellion, God declared that the generation that doubted Him would not enter the promised land. They would wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until a new generation rose, one that would trust God. This was a season of waiting. During these years, Moses continued to lead the people. He interceded for them when they sinned. He taught them God's laws. He reminded them again and again that obedience brings life. As the years passed, Moses grew old. God told him that he would see the promised land but would not enter it. Before his death, Moses gathered the people and spoke words of warning, encouragement, and blessing. He reminded them of God's faithfulness and called them to choose life over death, obedience over rebellion. Moses died on Mount Nebo, looking over the promised land from a distance. Israel mourned him deeply. There had never been a prophet like Moses, one who spoke with God face to face. Leadership passed to Joshua. Joshua was a man shaped by faith, patience, and obedience. God spoke to him and said, "Be strong and courageous. Just as I was with Moses, I will be with you." Under Joshua's leadership, Israel prepared to enter the promised land. The first obstacle was the Jordan River. At flood stage, it blocked their path. God commanded the priests to step into the water carrying the Ark of the Covenant. As their feet touched the river, the waters stopped flowing. Israel crossed on dry ground just as their parents had crossed the Red Sea. Their first challenge in the land was the fortified city of Jericho. God did not command them to attack with weapons. Instead, He instructed them to march around the city once each day for 6 days. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times, and the priests blew their trumpets. When the people shouted, the walls of Jericho collapsed. Victory came through obedience, not strength. As Israel continued to conquer the land, they faced battles, setbacks, and lessons. When they disobeyed God, they failed. When they trusted Him, they prevailed. Slowly, the land was divided among the 12 tribes of Israel, just as God had promised Abraham centuries earlier. Joshua led the people faithfully throughout his life. Near the end, he gathered all Israel and challenged them with powerful words. He reminded them of everything God had done, from Abraham's calling to Egypt, Exodus, wilderness, and conquest. Then Joshua declared, "Choose this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." The people promised to remain faithful. Joshua died knowing that God had kept every promise. Not one word had failed. This part of the Bible shows us that freedom is not just leaving slavery, it is learning to trust God daily. The wilderness teaches patience. The promised land teaches responsibility. God is not only the one who saves, but the one who leads, shapes, and establishes his people. And yet, even after entering the land, the story was far from over. A new struggle was about to begin, not against armies, but within the human heart. The next chapter of the Bible would reveal a cycle of faithfulness, failure, repentance, and rescue. The story continues. Elon Musk's story does not end with success. It ends with responsibility. When most people reach the top, they protect their comfort. Elon chose pressure. He chose problems bigger than himself. He chose a future no one could clearly see. He understands one brutal truth. Humanity will not survive by playing safe. Progress is not built by people who wait. It is built by people who act while others doubt. Every rocket launch, every factory night, every public failure was a reminder that the future is earned, not given. Elon Musk never promised an easy path. He promised a meaningful one. He showed that greatness is not about confidence. It is about commitment. It is about showing up again after being humiliated, criticized, and exhausted. It is about believing in a mission even when the entire world tells you to stop. If you are watching this and feeling small, remember this. The man planning cities on Mars once felt invisible. The man changing industries was once laughed at. The man shaping the future was once told he would fail. The only difference between him and most people is simple. He refused to quit. Your dreams do not need approval. They need effort. They need sacrifice. They need patience. No one is coming to save you. No perfect moment is coming. The time to build is now. The time to start is today. History is written by those who take responsibility for the future instead of blaming the present. Elon Musk took that responsibility. And now the question is no longer about him. The question is about you. What will you build when fear tells you to stop? What will you try when failure feels guaranteed? What future will exist because you refuse to give up? If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Take action. Share this video with someone who needs courage today. Subscribe for more stories that challenge comfort and reward ambition. Become part of a community that believes the future belongs to builders. Because the next world-changing idea is not waiting in the past. It is waiting in someone brave enough to start. Maybe that someone is you. The future is not coming. It is being built. And it belongs to those who dare. Even after changing multiple industries, Elon Musk knew one thing very clearly. The hardest part of innovation is not technology. It is people. Expectations rise, pressure multiplies, and mistakes become global headlines. Every decision he made was watched, judged, and dissected in real time. As Tesla grew into a global powerhouse, Elon faced constant resistance. Governments challenged him. Short sellers bet against him. Media questioned his leadership. Production delays were called disasters. But Elon stayed focused on first principles. When something failed, he asked why at the most basic level, then rebuilt the solution from scratch. SpaceX faced its own storms. Rockets are not forgiving. One small error could destroy years of work in seconds. Launches were delayed. Tests failed. Critics returned. But SpaceX engineers, led by Elon's relentless standards, kept pushing. They learned faster than anyone else in the industry. What once took decades now took months. Then came the moment that changed space history again. SpaceX successfully sent astronauts to the International Space Station using its own spacecraft. For the first time, a private company achieved what only governments once could. It was not just a technical win. It was a statement. Innovation does not belong to institutions. It belongs to those willing to challenge limits. Elon's vision expanded further. He believed transportation itself was broken. That belief gave rise to ideas like the Hyperloop. Faster than planes. Cleaner than cars. Many called it unrealistic. Elon released it as open source, inviting the world to improve it. To him, progress mattered more than ownership. His approach to leadership remained intense. He demanded clarity, speed, and accountability. Some found it inspiring. Others found it overwhelming. Elon accepted both. He believed extraordinary goals require extraordinary effort. Despite success, Elon often spoke about stress and loneliness. Carrying responsibility for companies that could shape humanity was not easy. Failures were public. Pressure was constant. But he kept moving forward because he believed the mission was bigger than comfort. Elon Musk does not see himself as a genius. He sees himself as someone willing to think longer, work harder, and risk more. He believes most limits exist because people accept assumptions without questioning them. His story reminds us that progress is messy. Innovation is uncomfortable. And the future is built by people who are misunderstood before they are respected. Elon Musk's journey is still unfolding. New challenges appear. New risks emerge. New critics rise. But one thing remains unchanged: his refusal to slow down. Because for Elon Musk, the future is not something to wait for. It is something to build. Elon Musk does not think in years. He thinks in centuries. While the world focuses on short-term comfort, his mind stays fixed on one question: how does humanity survive the long game? To Elon, the future is not a dream. It is a responsibility. Mars stands at the center of that vision. Elon believes Earth is fragile. A single asteroid, pandemic, or global collapse could erase everything humans have built. Becoming a multi-planet species is not science fiction to him. It is insurance for civilization. SpaceX's ultimate mission is to build a self-sustaining city on Mars, powered by solar energy, protected by technology, and capable of surviving without constant support from Earth. Starship is the key. A fully reusable spacecraft designed to carry humans, cargo, and entire infrastructures across planets. Failures are expected. Explosions are part of the process. Elon sees each failure as data. Every test brings humanity one step closer to interplanetary life. His goal is not flags on Mars. His goal is permanence. But Elon knows space alone is not the greatest threat. Artificial intelligence worries him deeply. He believes uncontrolled AI could become more dangerous than nuclear weapons. That fear is why he speaks openly about AI regulation and safety. Yet he also understands that stopping AI is impossible. So instead of resisting it, he wants humans to evolve alongside it. Neuralink represents that bridge. A direct connection between the human brain and machines. Not to replace humanity, but to protect it. Elon imagines a future where paralysis can be cured, memory can be restored, and humans can keep pace with intelligent machines. Risky? Yes. Necessary? He believes so. Energy remains another pillar of survival. Elon's future depends on sustainable power. Solar energy, battery storage, and electric transportation are not trends to him. They are survival tools. Without clean energy, the planet collapses. Tesla's mission goes far beyond cars. It is about transforming how humanity powers its existence. Connectivity ties it all together. Starlink aims to give every human access to information, education, and opportunity. Elon believes intelligence grows when knowledge is shared. A connected planet is a stronger planet. Critics say his ideas are too ambitious, too dangerous, too unrealistic. Elon hears them and keeps building. History, he believes, rewards those who attempt the impossible, not those who predict failure. Elon Musk's roadmap is not about fame or wealth. It is about reducing existential risk, protecting consciousness, giving humanity options when the odds turn against us. He often says the future will be strange, difficult, and uncertain. But he would rather build a difficult future than accept a comfortable end. Elon Musk's vision forces an uncomfortable question on all of us. Are we preparing for tomorrow, or are we just surviving today? Progress does not happen by accident. It happens because someone decides the future is worth fighting for. The roadmap is clear. Mars as a second home. AI as a partner, not a threat. Clean energy as a foundation. Humanity as something worth preserving. And the journey is far from over.